Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans, and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist, and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health and wellness and mindset from where you are to becoming unstoppable. Today, I want to talk to you about getting emotional about your health and fitness. This is such an important topic, and we do not get emotional enough about our health and fitness. Why do I know that? Because most of the globe is either overweight or obese. We are increasing this global pandemic we have of overweight and obesity rates. Pardon me, in Australia, it's around 67%. In the US, it's 71.5%. It's terrible. It's growing in other parts of the world as well. So why is this? And you can point to a whole range of different reasons in terms of people's poor food choices, whether it be alcohol, whether it be lack of exercise or the right types of exercises. There's a whole range of those things, and all of those are important. However, I find that people are not connecting with why it's so important for them to change and to change right now. And that's why I want you to get more emotional about it, because today, if you have a look on my Facebook page, my Rob Evans Facebook page, you'll see there, I posted a before and after photo of myself. Now, I was telling myself a story for many years that I was in really good shape. And it wasn't that I was overweight. I worked out a lot. I was proud of the body that I had produced, but it's about levels, isn't it? When do you, if you're here, when do you choose to make that step to that next level and that next level and that next level? If you think about it in a business context, maybe it's about starting a business. It's getting to that break-even point, and then getting to that break-even point to get into a profit of 50,000, and maybe then it's 75, and then maybe it's 100, then it's 200, 250, 500, maybe it's a million. Then how do we get to 5 million? How do we get to 10 million? How do we get to 100 million? How do we do all of those things? They're just different steps in the process of being an entrepreneur. So with your health and fitness, it's very much the same thing. We want to take you from where you are to where you want to be. Now, right now, you might be here, or you might even be down in the basement. You might be down here. But we want to get you to up here, or maybe it's way off the screen. Maybe it's way up high here where you want to get to. That's great. Hold on to that vision, because that's going to provide you with the fuel to be able to keep moving those steps. But what we don't do is we don't do this in one step. We don't go from here to here in one step. We take those individual steps, okay? Individual steps, because it's that process of taking the steps where you get the growth, where you become the person that you need to be to take that next step. And you'll grow again to take that next step. So that thinking that took you to that million isn't going to get you to 10 million or to that 100 million. It needs to be completely different. And your health and fitness is a bit the same. You have to keep building it, and you have to keep getting the support around you so that you are able to go to that next level. So I've got a great example of somebody that I've been working with for quite some time now. And if any of you are coaches out there, you'll know that you have those clients that you just love coaching. They're very coachable. You tell them things, they do it, they implement, they get the results, and it's amazing. Then you've also got those clients that believe they're coachable and say they're coachable, but really they're not, because you tell them the stuff, you have the same conversations over and over and over again, and guess what? Nothing's really changing. So I want to use this example of a client that I've been working with for a number of years now. Now, I've had to resign myself to the fact that, okay, she's capable of so much more here. I doubt that she's ever going to get there because she's not coachable. She's not prepared to make those changes. But I feel good in knowing that if she wasn't coming to see me to do the work that she was doing and having those discussions, then she'd be in a way worse off state. Now, interestingly, she's so grateful for the time that we spend together, because she says it's had such a dramatic impact on her business because of the coaching that we will do during our sessions, like business type coaching. It's not just about working out, we're doing other stuff as well. And she says she's just grown so much through that process, where I feel a heartbreak, if you like. It's where I can see she's got all this potential. And if only you do these things, you can have it all. But if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to step into that, you know, you're never going to get there. So this has probably been going on for about 3 years. She needs to lose about 15, 20 kilos. And she hasn't budged. Yes, she's gotten a bit stronger. She feels better. It's good for her mental health, all of that stuff. But she's not doing anything else. And I said to her, do you know what? Unless we've had numerous discussions, I said, unless you change something here, this may show up to you in a way that you don't like one day. Well, it's, you know, that big slap on the face where life reaches out and says, what the hell have you done to me? And it shows up in maybe a medical test or something that you just don't like. And where I see it in my clients that are coming to me, by the time you get to, I'm going to say 65 plus, even early 60s, sometimes it's earlier, but 60s and beyond, that's when things start to show up. It's almost like you can abuse your body for 20, 30, maybe 40 years, but if you keep abusing it, chances are it's going to show up some way in your body. Now, that might be an adverse blood reading. It could be a cancer. It could be obesity. It could be a stroke. It could be cholesterol. It could be a heart attack, heart disease. There are so many different things. I mean, this is science that I'm talking about here. It's so well researched that like having an overweight belly, for instance, are precursors to having all of those things, not to mention diabetes and everything that that debilitating disease brings. But a lot of these things are preventable. Now, not everything is preventable, but a lot of these things are preventable with the right lifestyle. So going back to this particular client, she, during COVID, she had things show up to her in a way that she didn't like. And it's resulted in her having to have surgery. And it's resulted in her being now on, I think it's 7 tablets twice a day. And she doesn't like taking medication. She's got high cholesterol. She has high blood pressure. She is type 2 diabetic now. And she's having a range of other issues as well. Now, sometimes even that is not enough to shock people into it, to a change, but it did for this lady. And she has now changed the way that she eats. Not too much has changed with what she does with me, apart from some of our conversations, but she is eating better foods. She's making better choices. She's eliminated sugar. She's very much on top of her type 2 diabetes because she needs to be. Because if you think about the worst case scenario for type 2 diabetes and what happens there, pardon me, you can lose limbs, you can lose your life. Like it's a very debilitating disease. So that was enough for her to slap her and shake her and say, come on, you need to change what it is that you're doing with your life and how you're looking after yourself. That, guess what? She changed. So she's now lost 7 kilos and still going, but she's still having some issues. She's still having to take the 7 tablets a day. So we've got to keep working on her. Now, why has it taken that? She's in her mid-40s. Why has it taken so long and that event to show up that way? Because she didn't get emotional about what her health and fitness means to her. And that's what I want you to do. If you have a look at my photos that I post on my Facebook page, my transformation from where I was just in December 2019, so a year ago, to where I am now, it's chalk and cheese. Now, back to December 2019, and prior to that, I was still in good shape. Like, I wasn't overweight. But when you look at my 2 photos, you say, wow, I'd much rather the one on the right than the one on the left because of how much work I've put in and how hard I've worked, and I know how good I look. And now it's about, for me, I'm here. Now it's about, okay, I want to go to that next level. So I've already reset my goals for the next year. I'm working with my strength and conditioning coach on what I'm going to do to achieve that for the next year. So it's so important. But if I look at what drove me to make that change, because I have been so focused for 32 years, I've been training myself and always been focused. I train, I eat really well, I'm looking after myself. But this year I said, I want that six pack. I want it. People talk about it and say, oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Well, you can't say it's just going to be nice and expect it to show up. You have to work at it. And so that's what I did. And I said, 2020 is my year. And I looked at all the things that have happened in my past and why I haven't achieved that to this point. And I said, well, if I look back over, say, the last 26 years, I have always been there for other people. I've done the coaching for other people. I've been the dad for my kids. I've been the lover. I've been the support person. I've been the nurturing, doing all of those things for other people. And yeah, I'm still looking after myself, but I haven't focused as much energy as I've wanted to into me. So I've been distracted trying to help everybody else do their thing, but losing me in that. And then if I dig a little bit deeper and think about my family history, I have a very weak family tree when it comes to health. My mum passed away at 66, dad passed away at 78. I have cancer, stroke, heart disease, dementia on both sides of my family. So that drives me to be passionate about my health and fitness, because I'm like, I don't want to suffer like I saw mum suffer. I don't want to see dad. I don't want to suffer like I saw dad suffer. I don't want to see that for me. I want to be unstoppable. I want to have the energy, the strength, the fitness, the health to do whatever it is that I want at any age. So that also drives me. I look at like my personal situation over the last, say, 4 years. And I had to end a very, very powerful relationship for me with somebody that I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. And there was family violence, not from her, but from her ex-partner. The stress that put on me, we had to get lawyers involved, police involved, like restraining order type stuff. And the impact that it was having on her 2 children, my 2 kids, I found that it put me in a mindset, if you like, of more of a survival rather than thriving. Stuff just didn't feel good. Do you know what I'm talking about? When you're in those relationships or you're in that part of your life where it just doesn't feel right. It's like you can't breathe freely. It's feel like you're weighed down. And that's how I was feeling with that. And it got to the point where I just felt I was not doing the right thing by the kids. I felt like I wasn't being the dad that I wanted to be for the dad. So I had to end that relationship. And it still saddens me. And it was like 18 months ago. But that went on, and I had 4 surgeries. I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, 2, one on my right, 2 on my left. The last one, October last year. 4 weeks after that, I had a hernia operation as well. So 4 in effectively 4 years, but 2 within the last 12 months. I think I developed an E. coli infection in the hernia operation, and I was hospitalized for a further 7 days on very, very strong antibiotics. So I had to rebuild from scratch. And so I said at the start of the year, this is what I want to achieve, because I've always done this for everybody else, and this is my turn. And I don't care what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to do. So we get to March 23rd, COVID, forced to shut down the studio for 7.5 months. And I said this, I don't care about COVID. I'm going to punch COVID in the face, because I'm not going to let anything stop me, not even COVID. So I stepped into it. I said, give me that challenge, bring it on, because I am better than this. And so that's what I did. And I have tracked every single meal that I've eaten, every workout that I've done, how much water I've drunk, and how I felt each day in terms of my mood and my energy. I have tracked it every day for the entire year and still continue to do it today. Now, all of that has obviously created a whole bunch of focus for me. Why? Why have I done it? Because I'd had enough. I was sick and tired of not getting what I wanted to for me. So I drove myself every day to achieve this. And you can see the photos on my Facebook page. Go and have a look at what my before and after photos look like. Now, I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve. And when I sit back and look at it, I think the reason that I was able to achieve so greatly what I achieved is because I got emotional about what it was that I wanted and why it was so important to me. And I connected it to myself. I connected it to my business. I connected it to my children. I connected it to developing greater, deeper relationships with my clients and getting them better results. Everything I attached to it. So how could I possibly fail? Because I was so energized and driven to achieve it. Now, what I see, like in this particular client's case I was talking about, is if only she would get emotional like she is now about what being on 7 tablets a day means to her. That's what's driving her at the moment. Then she would have got a result a lot quicker and perhaps not even had to have the medication. Now, the fear with her is she gets to a point where she comes off the medication because she's at a particular point, but she doesn't change anything fundamentally in her routine. This is where you've got the opportunity to do this. I want you to get really emotional about your own health and fitness. Maybe it's for the next time that you're doing it now. Maybe it's you've never been in this situation and it's the first time you're getting emotional about your health and fitness. But if you do and you step into that and completely immerse yourself in it, that's when you start going to that next level. That's when life starts to change. Doors open. You look at life so differently. It's so powerful. This is such a gift to give to yourself. And I know that many people watching this won't bother to even do it. As passionate as I am about doing this, I know that there's a portion of you that aren't going to do it. So prove me wrong. Do it. Write it all down. Get emotional about what the hell you want for your health, your fitness, and do not put any blinkers on. I just did a coaching session with a husband and wife, and the female, she said to me, "Oh, look, I'd like to lose 40 kilos, but I think what's realistic is 20." Now, when she said 40, I thought, okay, that number, that would put her at 100 kilos. I thought, that's still too much for your, for your height and everything. And I said, so tell me, why did you not say 40? And you don't think that's possible for you? I said, I don't think it's realistic. I just, I'm busy at work and that kind of stuff. It's like, hang on a second. I said, this is your life. I said, do not put a cap on what it is that you can achieve. And she said, I just want to, if I lose 40, that'll take me down to 100. So she said, if I'm around 100, then I think I'll be happy with that. And I said, okay, here's what I want you to do. I need you to start changing the language that you're using. I said, you're talking about around 100. I said, I want you to forget that, because 110, you could say is around 100. 120, you might say, well, that's around 100. I said, I want you to think maybe it's 75, maybe it's 80, maybe it's 85, maybe it's 90. But I said, what's good about those numbers is they're nowhere near 100. Okay, they're well under that. If you put your thinking to 100, you're never going to go below that. And the closer you get to it, and you'll make up a story as to why it's hard to get below it, so I'm not going to do it. And that was her reason for not doing it. It's just so hard. The food is so hard. And then the husband piped in and said, oh, yeah, it's this and it's that, and et cetera, et cetera. And when we walked through the whole plan, I said, I know exactly why you feel the way that you do and why you feel like you're failing, because you're not eating enough food. You're not doing this. And I said, if we just change these simple things, you'll get phenomenal results. But it starts here. And you've got to create this big dream for yourself. For me, for this year, I said at the start of the year, I need to think bigger. Not just slimmer, not just a six-pack, but what's a bigger thing for me? And I thought, I want to be Fitness Magazine cover ready. And that immediately conjures up a different thought in your mind, doesn't it? A different image. Even as I say that, think male model fitness magazine, and just forget for a moment that you may not think his face will fit on that magazine, but think about the body. And that's what I thought about. Okay, I want to get that body. And so I carried that image with me. I was thinking bigger than where I had in the past, working to achieve something that I've never achieved for myself, and made up a story as to why I couldn't get there. Don't do that for you. Dream big. Get emotional, like really emotional about what it is that you want, and forget what you have or have not been able to achieve in the past, and create a new version of your health and fitness now. I'm 52 and I'm in the best shape I've ever been. I've probably got the health and the body of like a 20, 25-year-old, because that's how much I focus on improving me every single day. If I can do it, you can do it. You want to know how you can work with me and get started in this process, even just have a conversation about pointing you in the right direction, go to the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com. You can opt in for a free consultation there, and I would love to connect with you and have a discussion and get you moving and the results that you truly deserve. Have a great day. Stay safe wherever you are. I'll see you tomorrow.